Hey, it's you. Wonderful. So let's begin. In this episode, we are talking about very important things. What is prompt? What is it made of? And what are preconfigured modes in kilocode and why they are so important. So let's begin. First thing, we need to understand what is prompt by itself. Maybe you know already. I will keep it very clear, very short. Prompt basically is a text input to an AI model. Whatever text input goes to a model, call it prompt, and then the model returns a response or output. So, you've been, I guess, working with things like ChatGPT or Cloud. So you're familiar with the idea of a prompt. For most of them tools, it will be mostly just user input. Not in kilocode. In kilocode, it's much more advanced because we are developing a very convenient to use tool. Let's take a look how it's built inside. So the prompt, what goes to the AI model in the end, actually consists of three different parts: system prompt, environment details, and task. So task is what in the beginning of the work, what you type, it's user input. So I want to do this and that, or how this and that works. Then environment details are details about your environment, folder, files, current mode, many other things. And then finally system prompt is a very important part of what's the prompt, what will be delivered to AI model. We will make a deeper dive in that. Important to understand what environment detail and task, they will be defined per each AI call. So every time every time API call to a model is executed, there might be something different. You might have different files because something was created or deleted. A task might change over time because in the beginning you define what you want to do, and then model gives instructions to itself or to kilocode to create file, read the status of this, if file was created or not, console tools, calls, and many other things. But system prompt is defined by mode, and that's what we are going to talk about. System prompt defines AI model role, capabilities, available tools, what rules set to for that, system information, and also custom rules and instructions. Custom rule and instructions we will cover in more details in the upcoming episodes. For now, we will stop on first few points. So role. Role is basically a part of a prompt engineering, which we will discuss briefly in the later episodes. But for now, it will be very important to know what it helps tremendously with the quality of the output. Explaining to model what is it, what it's doing, what its role, what the role to assume, and what it will be doing. So we have different modes, and therefore we have different roles for AI model, same AI model to take. Then capabilities explain to model what it can and what it cannot do. So you can edit files, you can call console commands, you can ask user questions, all these kind of things. Tool definitions explain how exactly a model can do it. And rules like what to do, what not to do. We will see it in the next moment, then we switch to Visual Studio Code. So, what is a mode? Basically, mode is a system prompt specifically designing for doing this or that task. For example, very often I don't want AI model to write some files or change anything. I'm trying to understand how the project works, where is the logic for authorization, something else. In this case, I switch to ask mode. Ask mode is a system prompt preconfigured for asking, so it will explicitly tell to models what you can read files, you can ask, you can review code, but you cannot create new files. You should not do this and that. You should only answer a question without trying to change something. The reasoning behind that is what some models, most like cloud models, kind of famous for that. They are very enthusiastic and trying to change in your project something all the time. Maybe you encountered that before. So ask model is designed to explain to model like, no, don't touch anything, only answer a question. Then architect mode is designed to design plans, design changes before really applying them. So you can review them, agree with them, maybe modify something. Code mode is to write or refactor code, and then debug mode is obviously for debugging. Then orchestrator is a special mode. It's a meta mode, which doesn't do anything with your project by itself, but it splits the task you gave into smaller tasks, subtasks, and then delegate them to modes accordingly. So first it will, for example, call architect to design something, and then it will call code mode to implement this solution. And then finally, if something goes wrong, if tests are failing, something is not executed properly, it can call debug mode to debug the situation, what went wrong during the implementation phase. Mode defines role, API profile, so which AI provider and which model will be called, and specific instruction for this particular situation. There are 5 predefined modes, and you can create more. Now I want to switch to Visual Studio Code and explore modes what we have, look at the system prompt for different modes, and tune mode to our likings, because although those modes are preconfigured, you have your own preferences, I have my own preferences, so we can tune them to work more as we want them to work. Also, you can create your own modes, but we will not touch it today. We will get to that in few episodes. You can select current mode to use right here. As you see, currently I'm in ask mode, but also I can switch, for example, to architect or to code. So if we want to take a look how modes are working inside, then we need to open this window again and then scroll down a little bit, and there will be a secret hidden button, edit. Yeah, it's not so easy to find maybe in the beginning. Then we choose edit. We can see the modes, and we can choose between the current mode we are editing. So for example, I want to review code mode, and now I'm editing code mode. So I can see what's the current API configuration, so I can configure to use different models for different modes. Use most expensive but most powerful mode for designing with architect, but maybe then using cheaper model for implementing, or quick, very fast Nanum type model for answering my questions. Then there is a role definition, so a very important part of prompt engineering best practices, explaining to AI model what is it about, in which role it should assume. Then there is a short description for us, humans. Well, maybe you are not a human, I don't know. Then to use, that is interesting. This guidance is for orchestrator mode. So it explains to orchestrator when to use this mode in particular. That's a very cool thing, because you can create your own mode, for example, for writing documentation. That's what we will be doing soon. And explain to orchestrator when to use this mode. So therefore, your orchestrator will understand what there are more buttons available to it than in a pre-configured setting, and then it also can write documentation for your feature completely automatically using dedicated mode for it, which is super cool. So then there are a list of available tools what can be used in this mode. For built-in modes, they cannot be modified. For your own modes, they can be. And then there are mode-specific custom instructions for code mode. As you see, they are not defined. If we switch from code mode to architect mode, we will see what role is different. You are killer code and Spirits technical leader, excellent planner, blah, blah, blah. So very well. We can scroll down and see mode-specific custom instructions, and based on those custom instructions, our architect mode will behave differently. So very same model, but tasked for architect, task for designing solutions will behave differently than code mode. It's asked to do some information gathering, for example, asking questions. Yeah, you should also ask user clarifying questions to get a better understanding of what's happening and what's the task. Then it can design solution, it can ask user if they are pleased with the plan, and then it's also asked to include diagrams to clarify complex workflows, and then finally it can use switch mode tool to request switching to code mode to implement this solution. By the way, I usually, in my custom instructions for architect, I disable it because I prefer architect just finish a job, then I review it, make adjustments, and then I already switch manually. So this can be reconfigure it. You can simply just take and delete it. But I will not do it for now. It's a default mode. I will create my own later here. So how do we review what the final information, what goes to final system prompt, for one part of a prompt, what goes to a model? How do we review it? You can push the button preview system prompt, and here you see it right here, but it's actually pretty big, so it's not convenient like that. I prefer to copy system prompt and paste it into a file. I'm currently in the architect mode, so I will open this file. I can paste it here. I already did it for you because I cut off some samples just to make it shorter and more readable. But here we can see what it consists of. We see that this role is injected, markdown rules, how you should treat markdown. Then there is a very long section on tool use. Tool use are very important things, so we will cover it in a bigger details later when we can go through other sections. So we see there are capabilities, display explaining to model what it can do. Then there are modes explaining in this system prompt what there are also other modes, and theoretically model can decide to switch to another mode. Then there are rules, so what's located there, how do you use tools, and other things. Then finally system information. It doesn't go to environment details because those things, they are not tend to change that often. You don't change operating system in between of API calls usually. Well, I don't know about you, I don't. Then objective, explaining so how exactly we are going to approach the given task. And then finally user custom instructions. So you see here for architect, those custom instructions are included into the system prompt in the end. Then for code mode, this system prompt, I already prepared here, will look differently. So there will be different role definition, but overall idea will be the same, but just code mode is tasked to execute, deliver solution. Now, there is a set, those are predefined mode, and that the system prompt that they generate what will be sent to model with each AI call. Let's not forget what AI models don't keep their stateless. They don't keep our state in between of the calls. So this system prompt will be sent, will be included to each and every AI call we do. So we want to have our adjustments. So for example, if I switch to ask mode, you will see first role definition, you are killer code, knowledgeable technical assistant, focused on answering questions and providing information. Very well. Then we see what available tools for this mode are significantly shorter. It's allowed to read files and use browsers and use MCPs, but it's not allowed to execute console commands, and it's not allowed to edit files. So mode will not try to change things. And then finally, default custom instruction for this ask mode looks like that. Let's take a look. I want to tune it. Maybe you want to. You can analyze code, explain concepts, and access external resources. Always answer the user's questions thoroughly and do not switch to implementing code unless explicitly requested by the user. Include mermaid diagrams, then they clarify your response. So, with my experience in programming, I usually don't need detailed, thorough answers or many page and many output tokens. It's also more expensive. So I want to adjust custom instructions for this mode. So I want to completely delete always answer the user's questions thoroughly. I will highlight do not switch to implementing code and actually completely remove it. If I want to switch to implementing code, I will do it myself. Do not switch to implementing code. And I don't need mermaid diagrams. Usually, if I will need them, I will ask for them specifically. And then finally, keep the answer very brief. Now, with new custom instructions, I can copy this system prompt, what will be executed in ask mode. I can put it in ask custom file, so it will be easier for us to see. We see it's 650 lines of code, much shorter than architecture, for example, which goes over actually to 900 because I deleted a couple of sections. And then we can see what this ask custom will include my custom instructions. So therefore, AI model will be asked to keep the answer brief, not give mermaid diagrams. So ask mode will work faster and cheaper for me. Well, which sounds very good. If you prefer other way around, more detailed answer, for example, I a complete beginner, so explain it to me in more simple phrases, something like that. That also a very good place to customize your ask mode or our modes. So try, experiment. If you feel your custom instructions aren't doing great, you always can reset to default using this reset to default button. So, great job so far. It's only second episode and we already explored so many important things. Still more to come. So, see you in the next episode.